How you doing? Christian with Kicks Out of Life. We got Metta World Peace here.
What's going on?
We appreciate you taking
Absolutely.
some time to talk with us.
Definitely.
Kicks Out of Life, where we tell story through shoes, through kicks. And man, I've always been a big fan. First time I remember seeing you at St. John's, one of the original Jordan brand schools. And tell us what that was like back then. I think back then we had St. John's, of course, North Carolina, Cincinnati, Georgetown.
Oh yeah.
And I think Cal at the time. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So what was that like being one of those schools in college?
It was cool, you know, being a Jordan school. Everybody was excited. Mm-hmm. You know, sophomore year. Then I got drafted to the Bulls. It was definitely a good experience.
Yeah.
You know, then we had the new kicks, the St. John's kicks. It was nice.
Awesome. So I vividly remember coming out. You got a Jordan 14 on. So This might have been 1998.
Yeah.
And on the other shoe, you had like a Team Jordan. Where'd that come from? We're wearing the mismatched shoes in the game.
Yeah, you know, I was always an entrepreneur. So when I first got into the league, I wanted to do my own shoes, but I was 19 years old, and my family didn't have a background in business. We didn't have a background in logistics and, you know, setting up infrastructure to create, you know, the design and, you know, to raise capital, to, you know, do whatever you got to do to launch a brand, you know, as such. So I didn't really get a chance to do it, but I was always into, you know, selling shoes. I was into Nike, I was into Adidas, I was into Converse, into Reebok, you know, Adidas, what else? Spot built. Yeah. And as a kid, I always wanted to build something like that because I figured that, you know, you can launch your own shoe company, you know, rather than pay $100 for your shoes, you can make $1 billion.
Yeah.
And you can also help your community. You know, I think, you know, from the communities that we from, you know, you're going to help differently than somebody else. A lot of people give back, but if you're from the actual community, you'll be able to do more. So, you know, so I was always interested in that. And that's why I wanted to major in architecture and different things like that. I did want to build warehouses and I wanted to do a bunch of stuff, but then basketball just took over.
Yeah.
And then I just started wearing people's shoes.
I got you.
And it was like a whole long story, but basketball kind of distracted me from that stuff.
Okay. Well, you know, people always, they know you for your defense, your toughness. Yeah. But, you know, you got some 20-point years in the league.
20-point year. But I did have a 19-point year, a couple 18-point years, maybe a couple 19-point years. Two-way player for sure. One of the best two-way players ever did.
Definitely. And we appreciate the time you spent here with the Rockets.
Yeah, that was a great year.
Real quick, Queens, New York, right?
Yeah.
I was actually born in Brooklyn, raised in Texas. But
BQE.
Today, you're here supporting Vernon Maxwell's mental health event. Tell us about that and what that means to you.
Yeah, Vernon Maxwell had a great event, you know, telling his story. I think it's his first mental health symposium. And just being vulnerable, you know, so shout out to Vernon Maxwell. You know, I think he did a great job, and I think it's going to get bigger and bigger. It's very important that people like Vernon, you know, kind of tell their story to help the young up-and-coming generation and make sure, you know, they're going through something that they'll be able to get through it. But I was really happy to support Vernon in his journey.
Well, we appreciate that. Well, we're not going to keep you long.
Absolutely.
Leaving out favorite Jordan of all time.
Favorite Jordan of all time is probably the Wings.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my favorite because I remember one time I was with Nike for just like merchandise, not really signed, but and then I wanted to wear some Jordans, and I wasn't able to wear them because Reggie Miller was the Jordan. He was a Jordan player, only one Jordan player per team. So since I couldn't get the Jordans, right after shoot around, I drove 2.5 hours to Chicago, went to Nike Town, got the Jordans, drove back, got to the game. I got to the game late actually, I think. And then I was playing against Michael that day.
Oh man!
He was with the Wizards, and I was able to put on his shoes. I think I played against Michael in like maybe 3 or 4 different Jordans, but it was such an honor to wear Michael Jordan's shoes.
I got a picture also
Michael Jordan.
seeing you in some Jordan 9s against him. That was a great pair.
Incredible.
That was the only pair he didn't wear in a game while that came out. That was the only
Seriously?
Because that's when he went on to
so
baseball. You wore those, right? You never, And I think that was against Mike while you were at Chicago.
And I changed my number to 23 for Mike because you know I just respect Mike's game. I respect his hard work, and when I played against Mike, you know, I wasn't trying to like do too much, but I wanted him to know I respect him so much. I'm gonna give him my all. You know what I mean? Because I know that's what he was bringing it. I do believe in his prime, you know, it would have been extremely tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been really tough. But then also, able to, I wasn't focused on my career.
Oh man.
But a focused Metta, that's
You'd have made it work.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about just me personally.
You personally, yeah.
Me personally, it would have been a really interesting situation to see how focused Metta.
It would have been a different player.
But I think Michael would have played well regardless.
Yeah. All right. Last thing, I run a program, Houston Hoops.
Yeah.
I wasn't around when you were playing, but Riverside Hawks, right? Nike team, one of the original Nike teams at the time. Tell us about some of the players that were on your team. I think you had Lamar Odom. You had what's my guy went to Duke with Philadelphia in front office right now.
Elton Brand.
Man, y'all were pretty much an unstoppable team for a summer team.
For sure. I think we had a squad. Elton was always the best. Lamar was like second best. Me and Eric Barker was like third.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Elton averaged the most, but it was only about like a 0.5.
Yeah.
Elton averaged 14, I think 0.5 one year we played. I think Lamar was at 13, 8. I was like at 13. Yeah, everybody sharing the ball. Nobody was. We didn't even think about scoring 30. Nobody was thinking about scoring 30. Maybe somebody had 30. Maybe Elton had 30 a couple times. But other than that, it was just move the ball, play together, play defense.
What is a high school or summer team going to do with a 6'7" perimeter guy that can guard all 5? Lamar, 7 foot, playing point. How do you stop that?
Hey, we beat a lot of people, older people. Played in tournaments. We beat men sometimes. I mean, we would win the championships by 50. You know, sometimes we'll say, okay, let's try to win this one by 50 or 60 championship games. We lost one game, the Baron Davis team. It was a great game. Baron played very well. Then we played against them again. We beat them by 20, but Baron wasn't there. I always leave that part out.
I got you. We appreciate taking time with Kicks Out of Life. We hope you'll take a kick out of life with us.
Let's go.
Man, we appreciate that, man.